everybody. Well, thank you for being with us. We're going to begin. Let's see. Let's begin with wonderful music that Cantor has prepared for us.
Yeah, well, maybe some of you might remember this from last week. We did this on Rosh Hashanah, and since we're still pretty new into this year, 5782. So we're gonna, because it's still customary to continue greeting people with Happy New Year and Shana Tova. So we're gonna sing the words Lishana Tova Tikatevu. So that means, well, may we be written for a good year ahead. And it's to our traditional nusach, our traditional melody that we use for the high holidays. And you'll hear this melody again too. So if you'll join me, it's Lishana Tova Tikatevu, Lishana Tova Tikatevu, Lishana Tova Tikatevu. And for our next opening song to welcome us into our family service, some of you may remember we did a sing-along song last week, and this week we are going to do it again, except this time some of the lyrics have changed for Yom Kippur, because last week was Rosh Hashanah, and this time it's Yom Kippur. So we're going to put the lyrics, I think, on the screen for you all. You can join me in singing the sing-along song. So you should hopefully see the words on the screen pretty soon. There we go. Sing along, song, come sing along. Sing along, song with me. It'll make you smile if you sing for a while. This sing along song with me. Woke up this morning feeling fine. Sang to the morning sun. Let those golden rays pour down and shine on everyone, so they can sing along, song, come sing along. Sing along, song with me. It'll make you smile if you sing for a while. This sing along song with me. Yom Kippur reminds us that it is Atonement Day. We are sorry for the thoughtless words that we often say. Sing along, song, come sing along. Sing along, song with me. It'll make you smile if you sing for a while. This sing along song with me. Yom Kippur is a time when we can begin once again. Go to someone we have hurt and say, come, let's be friends. Sing along, song, come sing along. Sing along, song with me. It'll make you smile if you sing for a while. This sing along song with me. I'm glad you listened to my song. I hope it made you smile. Whenever you're down, just come around. We can laugh and sing for a while. We can sing my sing-along song. Come sing along. Sing along song with me. It'll make you smile if you sing for a while. This sing-along song with me.
Yay! Thank you, Cantor. That was wonderful. Thank you. Well, Shana Tova, girls and boys. Happy New Year. Moms and dads as well, grandmas and grandpas, members of our community. Happy New Year. So great to be with you. Thank you for being with us. On this, the most important day of the Jewish year, this is it. It's Yom Kippur. Yom Kippur is like, I wish I had, oh, I do have one. Here we go. I don't know if you guys can see this. Can you see this? Oh, Yom Kippur is like a mirror. It's like a mirror for our hearts. On Yom Kippur, we look deep inside to see ourselves as God sees us. God sees us with love and with kindness and with forgiveness. So on Yom Kippur, we ask God to forgive us for the mistakes that we've made this past year. We ask God for the strength to do better next time. So today is an I'm sorry day. As Cantor was singing, today's an I'm sorry day. Today's a I want to do better day. Today's a thank you day. And today's an I love you day. So let's turn to page 3 in our prayer booklet. And we shall, oh, there it is. Now, if you're having a hard time seeing this and you want to see it on your screen, you just pull those little 2 parallel lines in the middle of the screen. You just drag them to the right. It makes it bigger. We all get smaller, but it makes the page bigger. Oh, and Jason's zooming in on it too. So today is Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the Jewish year. On this day, God has asked us to take time, as we're all doing. Take time to think before we take. Time to say, I'm sorry. Time to ask for forgiveness. Time to make up. And time to praise. So let's do some praying. Let's talk to God and let's talk to the world. We're going to get our bodies into our prayers. We're going to turn to page 4 in our prayer book. Page 4, we thank God who's given us this day of forgiveness. So if you're comfortable, we invite you to please stand for our call to worship. You guys know this one. This is the Baruch Hu. Please join us at home.
And if you remember, I said we have a special melody that we use during the high holiday. So this is going to be the same melody we used for Lishana Tova Tikav Tevu. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach Le'olam Vad.
And if you're comfortable, we're going to continue to stand because we're now come to the Shema, one of the most important prayers we say in Judaism, a prayer where we thank God for making the whole world, for showing love for us, and that God is one and we can all be one loving family together with everything that's alive on the earth. We can all be one big family together. So we invite you to please join us in the Shema.
And again, we're going to use our special high holidays melody. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad, Baruch Shem Kevod, Malchuto, Le'olam Vad.
Oh, that was wonderful, everybody. Please be seated. Please be seated. Make yourselves comfortable. Let's turn to page 5 now in our prayer book. Page 5. Oh, my goodness. Look at that picture. I love this picture. What are we looking at? I see the world. I see the oceans and I see the continents. And I see something surrounding the world. That looks like a big heart. Oh my goodness. Is that God's heart? That's God's heart, God's love for us, God's love for the world. I think so. Well, I wonder for, oh, nice. Josie, you making a heart? Let's make a heart like Josie's making. Can you guys, Josie, can you show us how that's done? There we go. There we go. Yeah, Naomi, you've got one. Madeline, you've got one. Very nice. Great hearts. Let's see who else is able to make that heart. Yeah, Naomi, And oh, Eva's making the heart, and I see Owen's making one too. Very nice. Great hearts, guys. Wonderful. Well, one of our prayers is all about heart. It talks about loving God, our loving God, and God's love for us. And let us turn to page 5 now. And for those of you who are readers, for those of you who are learning to read, are comfortable reading, I'd like to ask you, or maybe another member of your family who's a reader, if you guys can read the italics called responsive reading. If you guys will read the italics after me, and maybe Cantor, if you're comfortable, if you could, sort of be the responsive leader, but everybody at home who's able to read will read at home with the italics. So on the top of page 5, the Torah teaches us we have one God, as we just prayed in the Shema. The Torah teaches us we have one God, and the Torah tells us that we shall love the eternal our God with all of our heart, and that's in the V'ahavta prayer that we do. We show our love for God. This is how we can show our love for God, as the V'ahavta asks us to do, when we're kind.
When we are kind.
And when we share with others, we show our love for God.
When we share with others.
And when we're friendly.
When we are friendly.
Oh, parents like this one. We show our love for God when we obey our parents.
When we obey our parents.
And when we keep our promises.
When we keep our promises.
And my favorite, when we love our family.
When we love our family.
These are some of the ways that we show our love for God with all of our heart, as you guys are doing. So that's so great. Well, turning to page 6, sometimes we forget to do what our parents tell us to do. Has that ever happened to you? It's happened to me. Sometimes we forget to do what our parents tell us to do. Cantor, it happens to you sometimes too. And the great thing is our parents give us a chance to begin again. And sometimes we forget to follow God's rules, like our parents' rules. And God gives us a chance to begin again. So that's what Yom Kippur and this Jewish New Year is all about, beginning again in the new year. Oh, Jason, can we go back to that page? I love that picture on the bottom of page 6. Who can tell me what we're looking at? Jason earlier showed a picture of fall leaves. So what are we looking at? I mean, that was earlier in the service. You guys didn't see that. That was in the morning service. What are we looking at? Who wants to type that in? Naomi, you're next to your computer. Do you want to type in, or does somebody else want to type in what we are looking at on the bottom of page 6? Because it's going to be the fall in next week. Not in next week, on next week, during next week. I believe Tuesday, the 21st, is the first day of autumn this year. Yeah, Eva says a tree. Oh, right. Look at that. There's a tree at the bottom. I see the trunk. I see the branches. Oh, I like that. Tree of life, says Josh, a tree of life. And the leaves are shaped like someone. Yes. Who are the leaves shaped like? Thank you, Naomi. Who are the leaves shaped like? Ah, Josie, it's a girl. Yeah. Shaped like a girl, or if it could be a boy too, depending on how they cut their hair. But yeah, it's shaped like a girl or a boy. So I guess we're in the trees. We're in the trees, right? In some ways, we're in the trees. I love trees. I imagine you guys do too. So you know what we can do now? Let's spend a few moments talking to God in our own way, talking to the world in our own way. And we're going to do this silently. Sometimes we can talk out loud. Sometimes we talk in English. Sometimes we talk in Hebrew. But sometimes also in our Jewish prayers, we talk silently in our heads and in our hearts. And so if there's something that you'd like to say to God or say to the world at the start of this new year on Yom Kippur, the most important day, why don't we spend a few moments speaking to God, praying, listening in our own personal and silent prayer? Oh, look at that. Whatever you want to say to God, if you're having a hard time coming up with the words, you could begin thank you. And then whatever comes out of your heart after thank you.
Hopefully you've had a good opportunity to be able to have your silent private moments with God and yourself. And one of the ways we like to conclude those prayers is with another prayer, a prayer for peace. So one of our biggest prayers for peace that we say every day is Oseh Shalom. So see if we can put the words on the screen for you. And please join me with Oseh Shalom. Oseh Shalom, Shalom Bimramav, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom, Shalom Bimramav, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru Amen. Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Amen. Oseh Shalom, Shalom Bimramav, Uyaseh Shalom Aleinu, Ve'al Kol Yisrael, Ve'imru Amen. Ve'al Kol Yisrael,
Thank you, Cantor. Thank you so much. Well, I think a number of you guys might know that there is a very famous story we tell on Yom Kippur. It is a very famous story. Does anybody know? Does anybody want to put in the chat box what story we tell on Yom Kippur? Looks like Josie's going to it. Going to the keyboard. All right, I wonder what she's going to say. I wonder what she's going to say. All right, she's consulting with Dad.
If you guys need a hint, it's the name of one of our prophets that starts with a J.
Oh, that's a good one. Prophet begins with a J. Another hint involves water. And a guy as a prophet begins with a J. Oh, and a whale or a big
Very
fish.
good. Yeah.
That's right. And that prophet Cantor, what was the name of that prophet?
Jonah, or in Hebrew, Yonah.
Yonah. Oh, and by the way, Cantor, as you were alluding to, what does the word Yonah, the Hebrew word Yonah, Jonah mean?
It means dove.
Dove, look at that. So Jonah, who was swallowed by a big fish, means dove. We got to keep all that straight. Well, to help us keep it straight, we have prepared a wonderful story in animated form of the story of Jonah. And let's see, Cantor, are you sharing that? Is Jason sharing that? Here we go.
Jason's got it.
Jason's got it. So Jason, before we begin it, let's again remind everybody, if you want to make the image bigger, you're going to see once Jason puts it up there, 2 little white lines. Drag those white lines with your mouse to the right, as it looks like, yeah, Jason's, or as I had mine on. Drag them to the right, and it'll make your screen bigger. All right, well, let us hear about Jonah from the Bible.
Heroes of the Bible, Jonah. This is Jonah. Jonah was a prophet. That means it was his job to tell people what God told him to say.
Yep.
One day, God told Jonah to go to Nineveh because the people of Nineveh were doing bad things. But instead, Jonah ran away. And went to the port to board a ship going the other way. He was hoping to get away from God. He sailed for a place called Tarshish. While he was at sea, God sent a great and powerful wind over the sea that caused a storm that seemed like it would break the ship apart. Fearing for their lives, the sailors tried everything they could think of to save the ship. Meanwhile, Jonah was sound asleep, so the captain went down and said, "How can you sleep at a time like this? Get up and pray to your God. Maybe he will help us." Then the crew figured out that Jonah was the reason for the storm. And they asked him, "Who are you? Why is this happening to us?" Jonah told them who he was and that he worshiped the one true God who made the sea. Then he told the sailors to throw him in the sea so the storm would stop.
No, why?
The sailors still tried to escape the storm, but it was no use. So they asked God for forgiveness and threw Jonah into the sea. The storm stopped at once.
Whoa!
The sailors were amazed at God's power and they vowed to serve him. Now God sent a great fish to swallow Jonah.
Great.
And Jonah was inside the fish for 3 days and nights. Jonah prayed to God from inside the fish, and God ordered the fish to spit Jonah out.
Yuck.
God told Jonah again to go to the city of Nineveh to tell them what God had said about them.
I get it.
This time, Jonah obeyed God and went to Nineveh to deliver God's message. The people of Nineveh stopped doing bad things and turned to God. They were saved because they listened to the message that God had given Jonah.
Oh, yay. That was a good story. That was a good story. Boy, Cantor and I were talking a few weeks back, and does the story of Jonah in the big fish, does that remind you of another story that you might have seen? Oh, Josie's raising her hand, both hand really high. What story? Who else had that happen to them, Josie?
It's close to Jonah and the whale.
Uh-huh. Right. So Jonah and the whale, right? So Jonah and the whale. And
I'll
is
give
there
you
a
hint.
let's hear
There's
hint.
a Disney, an older Disney
That's
movie
tough.
that has something similar happen.
A Disney movie?
Yeah, Abby's been trying to get a word in.
Oh, great. Oh, Abby, yeah.
Yeah. Did you just see a Disney movie with somebody inside a whale?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to say what it was? Can I say for her? Can I say for you?
Yeah.
No. Well, we'll wait then. Somebody else could take a guess, but we did just see something just like that, like Cantor said.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So
See,
somebody
Madeline
put it in
has
the
a
chat
hand
box.
raised.
Yeah, Madeline. How do we pronounce that, Madeline?
Pinocchio.
Very
Pinocchio.
nice.
Abby, were you thinking of Pinocchio? Did you just see Pinocchio recently? And Pinocchio was also in a big fish or in a whale?
Is that what you saw? Oh, she said, yeah, and then she got shy. Yeah.
Ah, well, it's a great story. It's a great story. I was reading that the writer of Pinocchio, there were a number of biblical themes in the story, maybe also related to Joseph and maybe related to Adam and Eve. So it sounds like the writer of Pinocchio knew the Bible really well, knew these great Bible stories. Well, what did you guys think of the story we just saw? Was there something that you liked about the version we just saw, the animated version? Does anybody want to put in the chat box what they liked about that? Or maybe we could also, maybe the easier thing to do is just to unmute and people can share it. Madeline, are you raising your hand? Would you like to share something you liked? No, you're just sort of getting comfortable there.
Josie has her hand raised.
Josie has her hand raised. Yeah, Josie, what'd you like about it? Or what was interesting to
That
you?
he listened to God after he was swallowed by a ginormous big fish.
Yes, Jonah listened to God, because the first time Jonah ran away, Jonah didn't listen to God. But after the big fish, I guess Jonah was persuaded. I guess the fish influenced Jonah to maybe I better go. Yeah, Evo, what was interesting to you about it?
When a ginormous fish spit Jonah out.
Yes, when the fish spit out Jonah, that was a neat part. Yeah, I bet he was really felt like, oh my goodness, I'm back on dry ground. This is great. I better go do it. Oh, and Naomi put a picture of what type of whale is that? I don't know my whales very well, but Naomi put a picture
Looks
of
like a blue whale.
a blue whale. Oh, that's right, the blue whale. Nice, nice. Any other? Jason, does Kelsey Hakelev have anything that Kelsey like? No?
Kenzie.
Kenzie, I'm sorry. Kenzie, I'll get it right one time. Kenzie. So does Kenzie have anything? Yes? Does Kenzie want to bark it in your ear and you can tell us what Kenzie liked about it? Oh, I wonder what Kenzie liked about the story.
Kenzie liked the happy ending where everybody in Nineveh listened to what Jonah said and that the whole world became a better place.
Very nice. Yes, that is a happy ending. Yes. The people realized that they were doing things that needed to change, and they listened to Jonah and to God, and they made the world a better place. Well said, Kenzie. Wow, what a bright dog. Kenzie's very wise at 60 years old. That's an age of wisdom. So even little Kenzie representing. Very wise. Very wise. Does anybody else want to, something that they liked or they found interesting about the Jonah story or the animated version? Josie, you got another one? Yeah.
I also liked when the part when he finally listened to God and said what the message to the people that were doing bad stuff.
Yeah, that was a real turning point in the story. That was a neat point. That was one of the highlights. I agree. That was a neat part. What did you guys think when they were throwing stuff overboard? The really nice sailors.
I was going to mention that too.
Joe Cantor, what did you like about that? What were you thinking?
Well, when they were throwing all that stuff up, I mean, we don't know that this is how it went, but in the animation that we showed, the guy saves a chicken from being thrown overboard. And that, does that remind anybody else of Moana, maybe? Remember, they got the chicken on board?
Oh, it reminds you of
Disney movie.
Another Disney movie. I love it. Josie, does it remind you of that? Got to save the chicken. Can't throw the chicken overboard. Yeah, that was fun. Nice. Jason, I cannot believe you found that in the time that we were talking about it and queued up to that. There was the chicken. Nope. Keep it.
Oh, there's a good question there. There's a question in the chat. What were the dice for? So in the
Oh,
story,
yeah, they were doing the dice.
in the story, it talks about in the Haftarah story, like it talks about how the sailors on the ship were casting dice or lots to try to figure out whose fault the storm was, because it was this terrible storm, and then they realized that it was Jonah's fault, and he came forward and he told them it was his fault.
Yeah, they didn't know why the storm was there, so they it's sort of like a magic 8 ball. If you've ever seen a magic 8 ball, why is the storm here? And their dice sort of revealed it's Jonah. Jonah's the one responsible. I thought they were playing Monopoly. I thought that's what the dice was for, but I like that other version better. All right. Oh, and Madeline's putting fish in the chat box. Very nice. Oh, and we have more whales with the water coming out of the spout. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you guys. Thank you for sharing your thoughts about the wonderful Jonah story. We love it too. We love it too. So let's see. Oh, let's turn back in our prayer book, and we have some more surprises and maybe some more. Yeah, definitely have more surprises for you. But on page 11 in our prayer book, page 11, we're now going to come to a song that we sing during the high holidays. We sang it during Rosh Hashanah, and we're going to sing it again on Yom Kippur, where we see that, God is like our parent. God is very much like our loving parents. God cares about us. God forgives us. God's kind to us. And so on page 11, the Hebrew is Avinu Malkeinu. Avinu literally means in Hebrew, our parent, and Malkeinu means our sovereign, like our king or like our queen. So God is like a parent, God is like a king and a queen. And so we sing together Avinu Malkeinu as Cantor leads us.
Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu va'aneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu va'aneinu, Ki ein banu ma'asim. Aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed. Aseh imanu, tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu. Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu va'aneinu. Avinu Malkeinu, Choneinu va'aneinu, Ki ein banu ma'asim.
Well, if you guys can believe it, we have even more special holidays that are coming in the days and weeks ahead. So we had Rosh Hashanah, the Jewish New Year, 9 days ago. We have Yom Kippur today, and then we are going to celebrate. It actually begins this upcoming Monday, but we're going to celebrate it this week from this Friday. So on Friday, September 24th, we are going to be outside in our sukkah.
Very nice.
Sukkot.
Madeline got it in the chat.
Yeah. Oh, wonderful. Yeah. So it's the Jewish Thanksgiving Day. It's the Jewish Fall Festival of Thanksgiving. So please join us for Sukkot. We're going to be in person, so bring your masks. It's Friday, September 24th, a week from this Friday. And we're starting it at 7 o'clock. Oh, there we go. That's right. We're going to have a lulav and etrog. We're going to wait lulav and etrog. We invite you to come a little bit early at 6:15 to decorate our sukkah. We'll have arts and crafts for you to draw on and cut and place in our sukkah. And that's at 6:15, 6:30. If you get here at 6:30, that works too. 7 o'clock, we'll begin our service in the sukkah. And then at 8 o'clock, we'll have our oneg with special Sukkot treats. So please join us on Friday, September 24th. And then just a few days after, on Tuesday, the 28th, we're going to be on Zoom, not in person, but on Zoom for Simchat Torah, which means rejoicing with the Torah. We're going to be happy with the Torah scroll, and we're going to say specials, sing songs about the Torah. We're going to unroll an entire Torah scroll and show you that on your screen of the entire Torah scroll unrolled, and we're going to tell the story, some of the great stories in the Torah. So please join us for that. And I just want to mention one more thing, everybody. Do we have any 3- and 4-year-olds with us today? Or are there any siblings of 3- and 4-year-olds today? Because my family and me starts this Sunday from 10 to 12:30 for 3- and 4-year-olds. And Flo Cohen, who was with us a little bit earlier, Flo is the one in charge of the arts and crafts, the holiday arts and crafts and cooking for my family and me. So if you have a 3- or 4-year-old, you know a 3- or 4-year-old who would enjoy, please invite them for this Sunday at 10 o'clock, 10 to 12:30. All right, great. Well, one of the highlights of Yom Kippur, in addition to the story of Jonah and all of us being together, is blowing the shofar like we did on Rosh Hashanah. And it's our final blast of the shofar, where we listen to the voice of the shofar, the ancient Jewish trumpet, and we listen to the sounds of the shofar to begin our new year in happiness and joy and return. And Cantor has invited via the computer a special friend to blow shofar. So we're going to now listen. Cantor, we can't wait. And thank you for inviting your special friend to blow the shofar.
Our sea lion, specifically this little guy, Kane, he thinks he's very loud.
Tikia.
Can you hear it? I think Parker
Shevarim.
What about you?
Trua. Tikia Gedola.
Yay, the sea lion shofar. Yay.
They're the shofar of the natural world.
The shofars of the natural world. Yes. Boy, they sound just like a shofar. That's pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Well, it was great to hear the sea lions.
I see the Hamels have their shofar out. That's great.
Oh, yeah. Look at that. Oh, guys, you have yours. Nice. Does anybody else have a shofar? Josie's got hers. Very nice. Oh, look at the different colors, guys. Nice.
Very cool. We'll be inviting you to join the Shofar Choir one day.
Yes, you guys are getting ready. Speaking of the Shofar Choir, so let's hear the Shofar Choir join you guys at home. Let's hear the Shofar Choir really do it. So they're going to do, I think, 4 notes. And there they are. There's Cantor and the Shofar Choir outside. So they're going to do 4 shofar notes. You guys listen also for all the notes, but the last note, Tekiah Gidolah, the great Tekiah, the large Tekiah, the really big, ginormous one, that's going to be at the end. So let's see who can hold the shofar note the longest. So let's listen to the calls of the shofar. All right. Boy, they blew the shofar so wonderfully. Oh, and I see Madeline, you've got one too. Oh, and I see Abby. Oh, I'm sorry that I thought Abby had a shofar. But oh, look at Jason. Oh my goodness. Oh, Kenzie Hakelev is blowing a very large shofar.
Wow.
Look at that one. And keeping a mask on to keep everybody safe in the house. Nice. Oh, thank you, Kenzie. Thank you. Madeline, did you have your hand up? Yeah, Madeline, you want to unmute?
I have a lot more shofars.
Do you have a lot more? So I see you've got a purple and yellow one. Do you have more
cool.
than that?
Is it
Nice.
like, what does it sound like?
Yeah, can we hear that one? I heard a little bit of it.
Yeah, it doesn't, yeah, Zoom has problems sometimes with hearing the shofar, but that's cool. That's really cool.
Nice. Nice, guys. Well, this was so wonderful to be together. Let's sing another song. And then after our song, we're all going to unmute and wish each other a happy new year and a Shana Tova.
Well, just like we started out with Lashana Tova Tikateva, we're going to do it one more time so we really get the sense of having that good special year ahead of us. So please join me. Lashana Tova Tikatevu, Lashana Tova Tikatevu, Lashana Tova Tikatevu. Hope everybody has a wonderful year ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Cantor. And let's all wish each other a wonderful new year. So let's unmute.
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
Shana Tova.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. What you got there? What's Abby got there?
Show them what you have.
Oh, you're reading about Yom Kippur?
It's our Sam and Charlie by Leslie
Sam.
Immelman.
Oh, nice. Is that a PJ library?
Oh,
Yes.
that's awesome.
Yay.
Good Yontif.
Good
Good
Yontif.
Yontif in Yiddish.
Good Yontif.
Hi.
Good Yontif. That means a good day in Yiddish. Like, very nice. Thank you all for being with us. We'll look
So
forward
glad
to
you all
singing
joined
for
us.
Sukkot and Simchat Torah.